Hi there, Scorpio. Welcome to my channel for this reading. Okay, I have various cards on the table. I am today using the Love Pack deck by Chuck Spezzano, which is all to do with the relationships and the psychology of that. And I'm also using the Power Surrender deck as what Spirit might need, has a guidance for you. And I'm going to be pulling some cards from my chakra deck as well as from the Whispers of Love deck. Now I've chosen these cards specifically for this time as we've got Venus retrograde very much in Leo. This is going to be a new moon in Leo kind of reading, but it's the energy, it's the theme. So again, whenever you're watching this or this floats by your catches your attention for one reason or another, hopefully there'll be a message for you or something that you can take away with you that will really help you on your journey. So let's have a look. Okay, so we're opening this card. This is interesting. I feel like some of you, definitely, we've got a card of doubt here. Okay, so this card for some of you has meant that you are doubting your relationship. Okay, you could be all very up in your head about things and have been, and possibly even losing sleep over it. All right, there's a guy here offering this woman some flowers here, and she is not sure. And there's a divide there between sort of the kind of like the water pool area and her. Okay, I feel for me what I want to say about this is sometimes we can doubt because we have fear blocking it. Okay, and the fear can, really kind of tarnish our minds. We can end up overthinking things and then therefore actually being afraid to move forward, be it in love or in life. All right, I feel also sometimes that as well, that maybe your doubts are, let's have a look, valid, because, you've been hurt before, so that's understandable, but we can't have past hurts actually help get in the way of new possibilities through experience, either in love again or in relationships. I feel like for some of you, the next card I opened up is being self-conscious there. So I think again, some of you, you're not quite sure where to go. I think maybe even for some of you, there could be a man in your life right now that's kind of quite vain or wanting to sort of tend to put himself first, and you're noticing that he's busy looking at himself rather than really paying much attention to you. Okay, and that's making you doubt this connection. So obviously this is not going to speak to everybody. But let's have a look. I do feel in some way that perhaps right at the beginning, there was some really nice wooing, and you were very much enamored by the whole thing, and now you're doubting it. Okay, whether this has happened prior to this retrograde and you're thinking about and reevaluating, which is a perfect time to be doing this, by the way. Or otherwise you could be actually have met somebody recently and this is your noticing of this person. All right, and maybe this person has come on quite strongly towards you, Scorpios, and now you're beginning to doubt his actions, maybe not being congruent. Okay, or maybe you're even thinking, you could be a multiracial couple, or maybe you've got strong traditions in your family. This could be speak to one of two, and you are worried about what people will think and say. Let's have a look. Okay, really interesting. Because of this dynamic, you guys here, okay, you've got push me and pull me. Okay, so this is kind of like when you're seesawing, because you're letting your mind getting in the way of your natural desire or your natural impulse. And that is actually causing a power loss, a sense of fear within yourself, and also losing your instinct. Okay, you could also be in a partnership, some of you, where there could be this dynamic where he's calling the shots, and he calls you and he says he will call you and he doesn't. And then what happens is you end up waiting around and then you feel really sort of despondent or disillusioned, or really disappointed essentially when somebody does that. Okay, or you might be in a relationship, like fully in a relationship, and this pattern is happening where work comes first, or football comes first, or I'm kind of saying it very sort of generically and very biased towards that, because I think men are much better at doing that, but not to say it could be opposite roles here. Okay, so take it as you want, and if you're a cross watcher, again, just listen to it as you will if it speaks to you. I do feel that though there is very much some kind of manipulation going on here, and which is a shame, because really what you want is the energy of what, at the back of the cards here, there was a sense of let's have a look. here right at the back, I've got, you know, this sort of sense of real excitement when it first started. Maybe you were really on, you know, high heaven, which the problem sometimes when things start off like that, when you kind of, you know, at the bottom of the deck here, we've got floating on air. So when, as good as it is, you know, sometimes it's just too up, it's just too high. And of course, when you get high with anything, you know, alcohol, drugs, or anything like that, there's a come down. So essentially, maybe this relationship started off being that way, and now you're actually doubting the, you know, the foundation of the relationship, or maybe you did too much too soon, or there's a lot of playfulness, you know, or whatever. But I feel that something has happened where you are feeling not as engaged, and there's much more of a sense of revenge here. I even got the card of revenge here, and the card of control. So this could have been for maybe even somebody actually sort of manipulating. Like I said earlier, this push and pull is very much a control card, where you're feeling, you know, somebody could even sort of say, well, look, I'll speak to you in 4 days. Which means, you know, you don't have much room between those 4 days. It's this sort of, and people do that, don't they? They decide to assign when it's convenient for you to phone them or be there. And then it's a form of control. It leaves the fluidness, and one is always the one who's being led, which is interesting because this is this other card here, Scorpio. So Scorpios, I really don't know what's going on for you guys. Okay, in terms of your relationship, and this could also, okay, we say relationship, I'm going to read this quite broadly, and it could be even in a work situation where you're feeling that maybe you're really excited about the, you know, original position. It was pretty much what you thought it was going to be, or you'd hoped it was going to be, and you were having some good times, but suddenly things started getting in the way that you're beginning to doubt. Okay, now when it comes to doubt, sometimes it's really important that you check in with yourself to see, is this doubt coming from a place of the past? Am I carrying this past with me and making me question situations? Or have I got reason to doubt because my instincts and my intuition are telling me so? Be mindful as well, this is for someone in particular as well, that if you're feeling a bit left out, or somebody is in a third party situation, is that you don't lower your level of behavior and try and avenge or revenge a situation. It's very easy sometimes to want to do that, to equalize things, but I can assure you there'll be no real equalizing there, but actually just tainting what could be very positive. All right, I'm going to see what I'm going to do with these cards, because they are much more highlighting some of the issues. Okay, in Chox Pisano's deck, these cards are very much what would be seen as the negative, the problem cards. Okay, they're the shadow cards. All right, and the good thing is about when we see a shadow, we can see what we need to do. Now, what's important is here, one of the more promising cards, the healing card here, is about letting go. All right, so I feel like some of you, if you, maybe it is time to let go of a relationship. This might again speak to one or two of you here, that if you're feeling that you're being manipulated, or this person's being vain, or really pulling the strings, that's beginning to make you feel quite small. And this could be other way, of course, you know, male, female, female, male, male, you know, whatever. There's always going to be a dynamic of the masculine and the feminine. So I feel it is now time for you to actually let go, perhaps of all the expectations that you might have had, and particularly maybe even say goodbye to this person. And this Venus retrograde, if you're using it well and really using the power of it and really honoring yourself and your light within you, you will know what to do. Okay, I do feel though that in order to mend this situation in your heart, this is the element here that's the most promising card really, is to do some letting go. All right, it's really important that you just allow whatever is not happening, and maybe even you letting go of the control that you have, because you feel that, because you're doubting maybe this person's fidelity. Okay, you know, sometimes when we become really paranoid is where you start controlling the situations by saying, so where did you go, who did you speak to, who was that on the phone, all that kind of stuff, and it's creating a doubt, which is also then making your partner feel quite self-conscious as well, and having to watch himself or watch herself do everything. Again, this goes other way. So if you're experiencing any possessiveness, some of you as well, and Scorpions, I'm afraid you do have your shadow side. That is one of your shadows. You get very deeply and intensely in love, but of course this is going to be different for everyone depending on also where your Scorpio is. Okay, but it is the 12th house sign. It is often the sign of transformation, but when it comes to relationship, it can borderline on some kind of obsessiveness and addiction type behavior. All right, so if anything of that nature is stalling you or tripping you up, I suggest that you let it go. All right, Scorpios, I'm going to leave your reading here. I do feel like some of you actually have lost your power a bit, okay, and you will need to kind of re-navigate and really consider your options, I'm getting as well. And if you have certain other possibilities, friends or other options work-wise as well, I would consider, really seriously considering letting go what doesn't work for you. Really important. Okay. Oh, hello. My camera seems to have playing up. Okay, I'm going to use this bottom camera just in case. No, it's up here. All right, so that's all I'm going to say as well. So, you know, do let go. Do not get yourself trapped in a situation that doesn't make you feel good. This goes across the board for anything, any job, any person, any friend, any food, okay, any habits, okay. If you're feeling, oh my God, I'm so bored, whatever, okay, you are living a life that is not really enhancing. But let's see what advice Spirit has got for you from the Surrender deck. Okay. Here I've got surrender to your soul's path. It says your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. Okay, I think this is really in keeping as well. So some of you, if you are actually in a relationship or in a situation at work or whatever, and sometimes you sort of say to yourself, how can I be on this road? I mean, really, you know, how is it that I've said yes to this and this is what's happening? Or you might even be doubting that your path currently. You know, we've got to learn to be okay with these sort of less smoother path, all right? Or maybe some of the challenges that we get. And it's very difficult when we are always up against these new age memes or new age thinking that only joy and happiness is the path to, you know, freedom, one for a better word. In my view, living a liberated life, which is, you know, my sort of slogan, is when you surrender and you accept that we're on a soul path. So therefore, even if a relationship is challenging or difficult or it's bringing things up for us to question ourselves, that is what is required. And therefore, by embracing and accepting that things are designed, you know, the person who's come into your life right now who could be challenging to you is serving your soul's growth. All right, the person who you thought you were going to get involved with suddenly is backtracking or is telling you that, you know, they're going to start seeing some other people, or they're in kind of like seeing other people. It's not exclusive, and that throws you off a bit, and you're thinking, wow, what is this teaching me? What does this lesson have, or what does this have for me as a lesson? Okay, and it's really important that you see what comes up and what shows up and take it moment to moment in order to fully embrace your heart and yourself. Okay, and like I said, it might mean letting go of a situation or a possible new budding relationship that you thought was going to be great and maybe where you were beginning to be quite fun and naughty with. But there's an element of here, what's on the table here is there's a situation that has come up for you to really see things clearly. All right, I mean, I also like this sort of, you know, he's got a mirror in his hand, so really look at it. You know, I mean, that beautiful Mary Angelou's quote, what is it? However people show up, believe them, or something along those lines, isn't it? You know, or however people, you know, show up for the first time, just believe it. You know, if people dishonor their word and, you know, don't follow through on the first date or late, or say they're going to do something and don't follow up, don't make excuses for that kind of behavior. Just trust that's how they are. They're unreliable, maybe they're not good to the word. Is that how you want to be treated? Okay, now we can accept people for what they are, okay, because there are these elements around also Venus retrograding, which means it's being open-hearted and accepting people for how they are. But it does not mean that you have to settle for it. It does not mean that you need to you know, accept a situation that's actually going to cause you a lot of pain, suffering, or lack of peace. Okay, now if you are already in a marriage or in a relationship, okay, it is a time for you to actually maybe eradicate that doubt and maybe start speaking up and maybe letting go of any resentments that can be there, okay, and address things, because maybe what your soul is commanding of you is to own what it is that you need. Let me have a quick look here. Yeah, bring some playfulness, I'd say, as well, for some of you. Okay, it's really important. Sometimes we can get a bit overstuck in our heads as well, and sort of trying to paralysis of relationships, which actually also can take the romance out the way. So this is for one or two of you. Do be playful, get a bit all sexy, go out and do things that you would have done maybe 20 years ago. All right, and bring that into your life. So let's have a look. This is my chakra deck, which I was just shuffling, and one has flown out. I'm going to use these today. Okay, inspiration. So that goes really nicely with what I was saying earlier on just now about the be playful, be the tyrist, bring that fun, inspirational quality into your life. Okay, it is a sacral chakra here. All right, so if you again focus on this, really focus on this and making the sound ooh, all right, and just check any videos, right, or just even visualize this color radiating within your lower part of your, two sort of fingers worth down towards your pubic bone and away from the navel. You can really invoke this power of the inspiration. So here, this is a beautiful Leo card as well with the sun. Okay. Sorry for that noise. I've got my cat here scratching at the window and it's being a distraction. My little love that he is. This cat, he's called Oscar. But anyway, trying to focus here on inspiration. I wanted to say that this is also, some of you could take yourself out to the seaside, to the beach, maybe watching a sunset, inhale and exhale and taking it all in, and just think about living an inspired life. What would my life look like if I was feeling inspired? Or what would an inspired life look like? Okay, you might not, don't wait to be inspired sometimes, because that could also not happen. But when you go out to nature and see the beauty, nature doesn't stop doing its thing because it's not feeling inspired. It just lets it be, and it's the same. So by actually looking at nature, you can really tap into that life force, which is also a very Leo energy of being inspired. There's a jubilance to this card and a sense of expansion and joy as well. You can't but not be moved when you see scenery like this. Okay, I'm just going to see quickly what this might give you in terms of a mantra. But this is your sacral chakra, like I said earlier on. And in a minute, darling, in a minute. Okay, so inspiration is constantly flowing through me at all times, and I am inspired. All right, so again, it's really important that you actually sort of, now tap in. It says here, it's time to surround yourself with inspiring people, books and experiences, and anything that infuses you with inspiration. So again, if you're having this doubt, okay, within your relationship, and there's this dynamic, maybe something's not feeling good for you guys, I would say the remedy for this right now is to take yourself out and do something that's really inspirational. Sometimes we can't change directly what's going on in the outside, and the more you try, the more frustrated you get, and the more kind of everything, just like I said, analysis paralysis, right? So the thing here is to do things that's going to inspire you. Okay, infuse your life. It says, have you been feeling bored and stale? What do you love to do that brings creative inspiration? Whatever it is that fills you with the energy, it is now time to bring it into your world. And when you are driven by inspiration, it brings motivation, joy, and happiness into your being. This wave of energy will bring forth amazing positivity to your world, allowing you to feel content and with a sense of purpose in your life. So I love this for you, Scorpios, okay? And this also will put possibly some of you on a soul's journey, okay? Now, again, if you look at it, so if we look at the bigger picture, say you are in this sort of bit of this stagnant situation in a relationship or not feeling great about certain things, okay? And you're in this dynamic, by actually putting yourself first, taking your focus away from the relationship and bringing some inspiration could actually even take you by default onto your soul's path as well. All right, we don't always know the full picture till we're after the event. All right, sometimes certain things happen to us so we can actually really claim our soul's path. So for example, if you weren't in this shitty little situation, maybe, okay, you would not even be entertaining what else you could do or what else you could be doing to feel inspired and feeling better about your life and yourself, which will eventually lead you to your soul's path as well. If not immediately, certainly lead you to it. So I don't think there's any other cards. Was I going to do any other cards? Do we have any? Oh yes, the love, the Whispers of Love card. So I've already shuffled them before I put them in my little wooden box today. And let's see if there's one pop out or if there's one that I will choose. Okay, I'm just going to choose one. And it's this one. All right. Be in the present and dream of the future. And let's see here. Miracles and blessings. All right, the bottom of the deck. So let's see. Okay, well, by being in the present, okay, and be in the present, and when we dream, everything is possible, which is also related to this inspiration card. All right, perhaps you have dreams about traveling. You can see these pyramids there, or maybe you dream about studying something like astrology, or but find what it is that inspires you. Okay, and if you actually see this picture really clearly, she's sitting in the corner there, looking out in the sun, looking up in the sky rather, okay, the constellation. All right, so this is a really lovely time. Maybe some of you might want to take yourself out in the night skies, especially if you can see the night sky, and just allow yourself to be transported into possibilities and dream of a future that you would like. All right, because believe me, they do come eventually. They do come sometimes. Sometimes we're really dragged along a path that seems that never-endingly challenging. But everyone's soul's growth is a unique path. Okay, it's not the same for everybody. And I think the biggest crux and the biggest dis-ease of the current times is this idea of powerful manifestation. All right, which, because it really makes people feel that they fail in able to do that. But you have to trust something more, like having faith and trusting in miracles and blessings. Okay, and which this is the bottom of the deck. So you're getting two from me here, because I want you to know and believe that everything is or has its gifts. Again, everything has its gift. Okay, you can change anything seriously negative to something positive by seeing the gift in it. Okay, because we can't see always everything. All right, I mean, if you look at the cloudy image there, we can't always see what the universe of God has planned for us, and we just have to trust. And I believe that the more you live life out of that, the more you can embrace everything and be open to the smallest of miracles, from finding maybe $1 or £1, or somebody gifting you a free coffee, or maybe you winning a little something from the like a lucky dip on a lottery, or somebody offering you a pair of jeans that they no longer wear, but it's the kind of thing, small gifts all the time. All right, and if you be open to it, first thing in the morning you open your eyes and you are just blessed and feel the miracle of being alive for another day, and the blessings. Even if you've had recent ailments or illnesses, you will start feeling so much better, and really trying to start living an inspired life. So Scorpions, I am going to leave the reading here for you guys. I really am. This is absolutely good. You do have, maybe I do feel that there is some energy that's maybe not so brilliant at the moment, and it's bringing it up for question. But what I love about it is you have the power to make those changes by believing in miracles and blessings, staying in the present, dreaming of a better future, taking yourself out to see what inspires you, and notice what inspires you as well. Not necessarily out in nature, but what do you feel captivated by? What shows or hobbies do you tend to want to see? Or if you're booking the clues are everywhere in our lives, and really it's right in front of us. But I think it's time for some of you Scorpions out there, it's now really sort of embracing your life in a way that you really want, and and just trust that whatever path that you've gone down, it has been there to serve you, and now it is time for you to claim your life, as I said earlier, that one that's filled with great inspiration. Okay, so be inspired. Lots of love, Scorpions. I am going to end it here. I will see you in my next video. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Bye. Like it, subscribe. Thanks. Bye.